Why is it that it's so hard to change and commit to some of the little things in life that we know if we were to just make that tiny, tiny change, it would have a great impact? I mean, the stupidest habits that we have of either doing or not doing something, why don't we just change them? We know life would be better if we did, so why don't we? I think we are often slaves to our mind, and it's honestly exceptional at arguing for why you should stay in the place that you're in. And I don't think it's always about comfort. That's often used as the word to describe, we're staying comfortable. I think we're just staying in the known. We're staying in what the mind is used to. And like, for instance, when I came here to the little cabin that I'm living in now, there was a TV here. And I've known for many years that my life is better when I don't have a TV. But I kept it. I kept it around because, it's nice, there's a TV. And then I would watch a movie now and then. And then I started watching a series. And then I would watch golf and more sports. And all of a sudden, TV had taken control of my life. And I was watching way too much. And I knew this. And I knew I had to make a change, but I wasn't willing to because my mind was telling me that, well, just work on making the right decision in the moment. Like, allow yourself to chill out and watch a movie once in a while, but then don't turn it on the rest of the day. And it sounds good on the surface. But if I know my life is better without a TV, then why don't I just remove the TV? And the reason is that I wasn't willing to go to that place where I commit to a decision that I know is good for me. And it's such a weird aspect of human nature that we're not willing to commit to the things that we know are good for us. Though often once you do, you realize that the part of your mind that was chattering and convincing you to stay in the gray, right? Like, so the way I see it, there's like have TV, no TV, or in the gray. Like, choose whenever appropriate. I know it's better if it's not there, but my mind is telling me, well, you can just become better at choosing. But then in that gray, you open up for choice whenever you are in your weakest, whatever, sentiment. And why would you want that? Why would you even want that? I mean, yeah, I guess there's a sense of accomplishment in being able to control your urges. But the problem is, urges will come, and if you are weak, you will not beat them. So just remove them. Like, remove the presence of the escape altogether. And I sat with that decision for maybe 2 months, where I was very aware that I was watching way more TV than I wanted, that I wanted my life to be different than being stuck to a screen. But it took me a while to commit to a decision of just letting it go. But once I did, it was like, it wasn't hard. And it was like, all it took was a moment of negotiation with my inner child. The part of me that was hoping to just keep being, how do you say, sedated by the screen. all I had to tell it was, look, we're putting it in storage. We're not throwing it out. And whenever we want to watch a movie, we can bring it out. It'll take 5 minutes. We're like, okay, let's do that. I put it away in a moment of energy and motivation. And I haven't taken it out since, and I haven't missed it because my life is better. What do you know? My life is better, so why would I go back? But it took so long for me to make that choice because in general, we are afraid to make choices for ourselves, even when we know them to be good ones. And I don't know if this is like an effect of absent fathers. I believe it to be a little bit. I believe it to be a generational issue that a lot of our upbringing has been delegated to schools and institutions instead of having actual fathers, teach us how to make good choices. And of course, lots of people have great fathers. And my father was also, by many accounts, a great father. But there were things he did not teach me, and that schools also did not teach me. And that I'm now, forced to reparent myself and start over, make better choices, because life is better when you make good choices. It's kind of simple, right? If you make good choices, life is good. If you make bad choices, life is not so good. So we want to make good choices. So why don't we? And how can we start to? I also used to eat a lot of sugar, and it was really bad for my health because I'm very sensitive to sugars, and I would feel the high and then I would crash. And it's been a blessing to be in this cabin where I'm actually quite far from any shopping. So I go once a week, I go shopping, and I allow myself, if I feel like it, I will get some sweet for that day. But then the rest of the week, there's nothing in my house. So there's no craving to negotiate with, because I have nothing to satisfy it with. And life is better. So why can't we make those decisions constantly for ourselves that we know to be better, to result in better outcomes for ourselves? Why is it so hard? It's interesting also, at least I find, it's my experience, that many times when we do allow ourselves to be our own authority in terms of making good choices, the mind kind of settles. Like once you actually commit to something that you know to be good for yourself, the mind stops. You can have this thing that you are arguing with yourself about internally again and again and again and again. Should I let go of this thing? Should I start doing that other thing? Or what? Or which? Or why? Or where am I going? Who am I becoming? But you have this feeling inside that you know what to be right, but you're not committing to it. And it's the non-commitment that is creating the internal friction and chatter, because the mind is like, ooh, I can stay in control here. As soon as you let go of that, as soon as you say, no, this is right, this will lead to a better life, there's a sense of relief in your whole system. And I'm finding more and more that it's the only way to go about change. There is no attempting to go through change as a, how do you say, nuanced middle way. You can do that later. Like, you can find nuance later, and there's plenty of aspects of life that has to be nuanced. But if we're talking about making actual change, removing a habit or installing a new one, you gotta take away the, what's it called, like the stuff in the gray, like any room for negotiation with your mind is a recipe for disaster. We have to take away the internal negotiation. You gotta pick with conviction the things that we know to be right, and then commit to them with sincerity and with wholeness with all of us. Like, we have to talk to the parts that wants to hold on, right? But you gotta also believe and understand that those parts actually want to be led by you. They want to be led typically by a father figure, an external authority, but we can learn to become that for ourselves, make good choices, and gain the respect and the trust of the internal parts that are perhaps in the beginning a little, not on board. It's a process. It has been for me over the past couple of years something that I've learned that more and more I find it to be the core of my own personal journey, is the process of reparenting myself and establishing a relationship where all parts of me trust the deeper knowing, so that when I make choices, I'm like on board. All of me is on board, not just the, how do you say, like that periodically fully conscious, all-encompassing, intelligent part of me, but all aspects of me. I'm a guy that thinks a lot, and when you think a lot, you become good at thinking. But it doesn't mean my thoughts are always true. In fact, there's a bigger risk of me believing them to be true, because often they are. But there are many situations where my thoughts are distorted when it comes to the utility of what they're really there for. When I was in my late 20s, I entered selection for one of the special forces in Denmark, and I didn't make it through. So there's no further stories to tell. But I did go through like it's not Hell Week, because that's the end of the education, but I did go through the first screening. So I went into the actual selection where they start like pushing you and taking you through various drills and exercises and stuff. I went into that process because I was craving to be in an environment where I didn't have to be self-directed, but someone else would just take me by the hand and promise me to lead me somewhere good. All I had to do was just follow. Now, I wasn't even able to follow them because I had a lack of resolve, and And as it turned out, I think in the selection process, they weren't actually leading people at all. They were pushing to see who would be able to lead themselves, and I wasn't able to. But I recognize that need for external authority to help us grow into people that can create better lives for ourselves. If you don't have that in your life, oh, you crave it so much. And so I feel, this is where I feel, in part, society is broken. In many aspects, I actually feel society is fantastic and has done a lot of things right. And regardless of the many pains that are in the world today, it's also the best time to be alive ever. But there are also many aspects where society is profoundly broken, and one of them is the way that we are not, how do you say, taught to be self-reliant and self-led human beings. We are taught to exist in a structure, and often a structure that isn't very healthy for us, where we go to work and we do productive things, and then we go back and we are rewarded with poison, basically. Shitty entertainment, sugar, porn, monetary validation, whatever. Let's move on. I'm not a big fan of many aspects of society. But I think if you learn to lead yourself with good choices, if you learn to trust your own ability to really sense in yourself what is good and what is not, and make that choice, not needing external structures to enforce those choices, I think life is pretty awesome. I put my TV away that, like, it was all within half an hour. I was reflecting on it. I was like thinking about, well, how much time am I actually spending on that screen, and why? What am I getting from it? And do I really want to? And the result was no. I don't want the screen. I want to live an inspired life where I'm active and creative and all those things, and that screen does not add to that experience. I made the choice, I put it away, I was on board, and I don't even think I've thought of it since. I put it in storage, it's like right in there, but it's been in there for 3 months. I could have pulled it out many times, but I never had an urge to. I don't want to, because in general, my life is better when it's not. When it's not part of my life. So why did it take me so long to make that choice? And I guess you could say I actually made it quite quick. I made it within 2 or 3 months or something. I think a lot of people would never make that choice. It's just automatic that, yeah, you have a TV, why not? Well, now it's gone and I'm happier for it. So what are all the things that you can easily add or remove that has a profound impact on your life? And so why don't we? I'm going to keep asking that question, because it's not for me to answer. I have my own answers. Like, I know what is stirring inside of me, but I don't have access to your mind. But I can ask you the question, why don't you? The things that you want to add or remove that are seemingly easy to do so, why don't you? And I'm not judging you. I'm not telling you you're a bad person for not making those choices. I'm telling you somewhere along the way, you didn't learn to lead yourself. You didn't learn to trust your instinct. It's not even instinct. It's like a deeper feeling of knowing that there's a better life that you're not living because you're not making those choices. You're not making those commitments. And yeah, so something to reflect on. Some things are easy. Some things are not so much. Some things are simple. Some things are very complicated. Do yourself a favor and just try it out for a tiny, tiny, tiny thing that you know somewhere inside you that if you were to make that change, it would have a big impact, but you haven't fully committed to it because your mind keeps telling you that it's better to stay in the gray zone. Like, just try it for a tiny thing, something you know will be fairly easy to succeed with, and just commit to it. Just fucking do it. Like, go all the way. No gray, black or white, or whatever you choose. Whichever. Just do it fully. And then once after you've done it fully, if your life isn't better, you can let it go. But if your life is better, you won't want to go back. When I finally stopped smoking, I tried to stop smoking for so long, so many years. I would quit for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, and then my mind will tell you, well, you can just have one cigarette now because you're in a good place and it's better to be in control like that. You don't have to be black or white. And so you have one, and then you have one more, and then all of a sudden it's even worse than before. It's always like that. But once I finally fully quit, there's no way I'm going back now. I haven't touched a cigarette now in 8 years, I guess. It's not even part of my... I don't remember the last time I had a craving. I can't imagine having ever a cigarette again because my life is better without it. But it took a while for me to get to that place. Ironically, I would say that me quitting smoking actually wasn't something I can't take credit for that transition. It just kind of happened. Maybe I'll tell more about it in another video. But still the conclusion of understanding that if something is better for you, if you gain a better life from either letting go or adopting something, then you won't be sad that you did. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it now. Today, even now, while you're listening to me, maybe there's a motivation inside of you to finally say, okay, I'm going to stop doing that thing, or I'm going to start doing that thing. Okay, so commit to it. What's the next step? But commit fully. And if you feel like you could benefit from help in that sort of process, I will leave links below. But otherwise, I will see you back here on the tube another time.